Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Sonal's life. So normally after a big New Japan show you will get the video on the day the show came out. I'm very sorry, but unlike places like Japan and Korea where today was a national holiday, I was still working. So I've literally just finished work. I say just finished work, watched the 4.5 hour show and have come straight here to do this video. So obviously I'm talking about this year's Destruction in Ryogoku show. Now it was a 10-man show including a pre-show. I will not speak about the pre-show match, and there's also a special singles match between Tangaloa and Chase Owens which I did not watch. But because so much has gone on, I thought I had to do a video, and yeah, let's get going because I don't want to make this too long. We started with a 6-man match. Well, normally I would pass over this. This was a big thing because it was House of Torches, Yujiro, Sho, and Dick Togo versus just 5 guys. So Doki, Taichi, and X. Now, obviously, we knew that in the last Destruction show, the big one, Uncle Nobu broke everyone's hearts and abandoned just 5 guys to make them just 4 guys. However, very quickly they made a statement saying, well, it doesn't matter. We're not going to have to bring the old merch out because we have got someone. Now, even before they said they had someone, I had an inkling. Because what did I say, guys? I said that it is going to be Yuya Uemura, who had finished his time in the US and Impact and seemingly had nowhere to go. Oh, I was right. The music hit. It was very interesting moniker, but I feel like that's the case now for our young lions. And he came out. Now, what I find exciting is that he is not trying to change his image to fit just guys. Just 5 guys. So he came out compared to the rest of the members. He had bright trunks, his long hair, like a jacket, a white jacket and a cape, and the pop. So later on in the show, they mentioned that this was the same place and the same time that Shota Umino came back last year, I believe. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I took this from commentary. But I genuinely think that the pop was amazing. Now, obviously, it meant that just 5 guys picked up the win. But what I want to say is that this is the first time I have made, because I swear, I made this prediction straight after Nobu left. And everyone jumped on the bandwagon, okay? So I'm going to say that, okay, well, New Japan probably didn't listen to me and that this has always been on the books. Everyone else's predictions for it to be Yuya Uemura was based on me. So that happened. I'm so happy to have him back. It's gonna be interesting to see what the dynamic is with the other 3 musketeers. I'll talk a bit about some of them later on. But yeah, that will be interesting. But welcome home, Yuya Uemura, and that means that the young lion class that I started watching, I have now seen them all finish their excursion and come back home. Now, the next match was, like I said, it was Tangaloa versus Chase Owens. I didn't watch it because when the show is like 5 hours long, I don't have time for this. Again, I'm not going to touch upon the special singles matches that much. We had one with LIJ and the Empire, so that was Bushi, Tsuji, Takagi and Naito versus Callum Newman, Hanare, Great-O-Khan and Jeff Cobb. There were some nice interactions going on between the members. Tsuji and Great-O-Khan. Just generally, it was pretty decent like tag match. Callum Newman got pinned, I do believe. But I really think that there is some really nice new talent, especially with guys like Callum Newman and Hanare's building things up. So yeah, whatever happens, like LIJ and the Empire, I think are 2 of the most popular factions, and to have them in a tag match to ensure that you've got the big guys in it, very good idea. And I love seeing Yota Tsuji and guys like that. Makes me happy. We then started with the title matches. So we had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. So that was the challengers Kevin Knight and Kushida versus the Bullet Club, and I was going to say House of Torch, but they're not. Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors. A really good match, actually. So you always got 3 upcomers. So 3 former young lions, 2 former young lions and Drilla Maloney, who's still quite young, and the veteran Kushida, who oddly enough got pinned in this. But it was a very classic junior, and obviously if I get any of these wrong, and if it was actually Kevin Knight that got pinned, I'm sorry, because I watched this like 3 hours ago and New Japan haven't updated the results yet. But yeah, it was a really fast match. The dynamic is very different to what I'm going to talk about later with the heavyweight tag teams. Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors are very controlled. They use their strength very well. And that perfectly contrasted from Kushida, who obviously is more mat-based, and Kevin Knight, who is known for his athleticism. Now, I didn't see Kushida and Kevin Knight winning, because that would be a very short reign for the Bullet Club, which is not what they need right now, especially if you know what's happening later. However, it was a really good match, and Kevin Knight, oh my god, when he decides maybe this tag team isn't a thing, or to find another partner, I really think that Kevin Knight in singles action is somebody to watch, because he is truly phenomenal. Phenomenal. Why did that sound so weird? We then had the last of the best of 7 series match. So if you've not been watching the Destruction Tour, go back and watch it. There has been a best of 7 series between 2 sub-factions within Hontai. So it was Master Wato, Shota Umino and Yuji Nagata facing Strong Styles, El Desperado, Ren Narita and Suzuki. Now obviously you've got the connections here. So Despi and Wato were going at heads. Umino and Narita were going ahead, and Suzuki and Nagata were going ahead like they have for 20 years. Again, like, I think this was probably the best match of this best of 7 series that I've watched. So many interactions, and what I liked was this was very much focused on Narita and Shota, because they've had, everyone else has had like the pins and stuff done. So Suzuki is pinned, Nagata's pinned, Narita's pinned, Wato's pinned, I missed somebody else. They've all pinned, and it was except Shota. So this was like a big redemption arc. So we currently had 3 wins for each team. No, 2 wins for... it's like 3 wins for Strong Style, 2 for the other team, and then 1 draw. Now obviously this came out as a win for Shota, so it was 3 apiece and a draw. But what I liked is that this was an amazing series, but it really pushed what could happen going forward. So shockingly at the end, Shota reached out for Narita's hand and they showed a mutual sign of respect. Master Wato and Despi did the same thing, albeit Despi was a bit like that compared to the handshake. And after a lot of slaps, there was also an odd sign of respect between Suzuki and Nagata. Now, what does this mean and why it's so exciting? Well, I can't imagine that the granddads Nagata and Suzuki will ever be on amazing terms, because there was an extra slap after that. It really helps going towards Tag League. So we could have simply the team of Shota and Narita tagging for World Tag League. Super Junior Tag League is coming out, I think, in a week. We could have Despi and Wato for that. So yeah, really good, like, technically like a special tag match, but really nice way to round it off. And obviously, I know people might say it's a cop-out, but considering they're both Hontai branches, it makes sense. We then had the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship between El Phantasmo and Hikuleo as the challengers, and the winners, so the champions, Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin. Again, a really nice match. My issue comes is that compared to the juniors, Cabe and Coughlin do not work as well as a team. We know that despite being younger, I believe, Gabe has much more experience and is sort of the leader of it. But they have got to control their anger, their passion that makes them shine, especially with Gabe, because it can become unhinged. Whereas despite barely tagging together, Hikuleo and ELP worked really well. So Hikuleo had a damaged knee, so they really focused on that storyline and had ELP balancing him out. And in the end, the GOD duo, I guess you can say ELP is now in GOD, they got the win and are now champions. Now, they didn't have the best of reigns, Bullet Club, but I really think that the story going forward is this desire, this need for the two of them to become more cohesive with each other. Yes, their unhinged personalities are what we love about them, but they need to learn how to control it. Be a bit like Hiromu. Hiromu, God, that man is a nutter. But he knows the right time to collect it all together and create something a bit more smooth and something that, because the thing is, they sort of let their emotions get ahead of them, and that allowed the GOD duo to capitalize, and that got the win. We then had an unexpected match, well, not unexpected, but we knew, but in terms of like not really the usual. So it was the never open 6-man titles, so the champions, Kazuchika Okada, Ishii and Tanahashi, versus Impact's Josh Alexander, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. Again, a really good match between 6 veterans in the wrestling industry. And what I loved is, especially because English commentary was all they had, the tidbits that Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton were giving to us, like the links with Okada and Impact and Tanahashi and Impact, and even as simple as Ishii and Joshua Alexander last year when they were challenging for the title. Really nice dynamics between all the wrestlers. Like, it was basically a star-studded match. And in the end, Ishii actually pinned Josh Alexander, who is the Impact champion. So maybe gold could be on the way for Ishii in Impact. We then had the, actually a really good match, the Never Openweight Championship match. So David Finlay facing Tama Tonga. These two have bad blood. There is a lot of bad blood stemming from, I mean, everything seems to stem from the Bullet Club shit, doesn't it? So basically, it started very quick. Finlay was beating up Tama, and for the portion of it seemed like Finlay was in charge. He got the table out, who's being very brutal. Now, I'm saying this because Finlay also has these emotions. Now, he thinks for years he's been sort of looked past. So when he was in Hontai, he was always Fit Finlay's son, and then Juice Robinson's partner, and even in the dojo, the one that Jay White kept beating. So he has something to prove. Similarly, so does Tama Tonga. He got kicked out of Bullet Club and has sort of, while he's been shining in Hontai, not really reached the heights of like GOD as tag champions. He lost the Never title, I think, on the first defense. And this was his chance to prove it. And he had the crowds behind him, which I think was vital. Finlay played an amazing heel, like, don't get me wrong. But Tama as a babyface, if you'd have said this like 5-6 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you, but he is a phenomenal babyface. He thrives on the crowd, and it was these small moments, not even of hesitation, but the small moments that Tama managed to get that gunstun to turn the tides around, and he eventually got the win and is the new Never Openweight champion. Which, yay, but please, why don't we keep Tama with that title, let him grow it, and let's move Finlay on to something else. We then got up to the final two matches, and while one was phenomenal, one was... So obviously we're going to start with the phenomenal one, which was the semi-main event, and it was the IWGP Triple Threat match for the Junior Championship. Now, originally it was meant to be Hiromu Takahashi versus Lio Rush and Speedball Mike Bailey. Now, sadly Lio Rush got a massive fever, I think like 40 degrees, I think 105 Celsius if you are American. And they really nicely built that into the story because no one was certain about whether Leo would make it. So in a multi-man elimination, Yo got the win over Hiromu. So obviously Yo was like, at first he was like, right, whoever wins that triple threat, I want to challenge them. But now, instead, they had Yo taking Lio Rush's place. Now, I think they said the last time for an IWGP title of triple threat for singles, it was the heavyweight. And it was like the Cody, Ibushi, Kenny, we don't need to think about that. But for me, while they don't work for heavyweights, multi-man matches always work perfectly for juniors. And this was the perfect example. Wow. From the very beginning, it was fast, furious. There was, like, if you blinked, you would miss it. There was spots between Hiromu and Speedball Mike Bailey, Yo and Speedball, especially at one point when they realised that they couldn't both pin Hiromu, so they chucked him out of the ring and focused on their own offense. Moments with Yo and Hiromu who have so much history. Remember, Hiromu had just gone on excursion when Yo was sort of rising through the Young Lion system, so they were like just a class separated. And what I loved is that there was so much action, but diverse action. So yes, you had the speed and athleticism, but each of them slowed it down, showcased how diverse the junior division is. And you know what, personally, like, I love Lio Rush, but for me this is a perfect match. I love Hiromu Takahashi. You know that Yo has always been one of my favourite ever since like Roppongi 3K. Like, not just because I met him and he's a sussy and I love it, but that case as well. And I've been watching Speedball Mike Bailey for years, whether he was in the UK or on DDT. So it was three men with completely different styles, but who I love. And it was phenomenal. And in the end, Hiromu got the win, which is great because he's going after that record for Jushin Thunder Liger. And then Ishimori came in and attacked him. Now, obviously with the Just 5 Guys stuff, Ishimori was almost teasing that, and then when Uemura was announced, it's like, it's not me. So we just assumed, oh, he's still injured. Then he came back to attack Hiromu and was like, you put me on the shelf, I'm challenging you. While I don't see Ishimori winning unless there's some like convoluted like change of heart from Gedo, which has happened before, it'll be another nice solid defense for Hiromu. But yeah, I want to see Speedball Mike Bailey in New Japan more and more. And Yo, please someone give Yo a chance. From the very good to the very bad. Well, okay. We had the Lumberjack match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So champion Sanada versus Evil. The whole story of this, Evil nicked the belt off Sanada. It's been stupid. They have a lumberjack match and they thought they were at advantage because Kanemaru left them, but then Uemura was there. They mentioned on commentary that this is the only time I think they've had a lumberjack match for an IWGP Championship, the heavyweight title. Do you know why? Because that's the only way you can get a semi-decent match out of Evil. I'm not really going to speak about the match itself. It's the lumberjack match thing, like, it went on for too long. I think it went on for like 25-30 minutes. Didn't need to go that long. While I guess someone joked this was probably one of Evil's best matches, which it was, it just wasn't needed. It went on too long. Yeah, we had some good lumberjack moments. Like 10 referees were knocked out. I think we can just sort of scrap this out. The main thing is, in the end, Sanada got the win cleanly. There was a really funny moment where Red Shoes Uno was brought back in the ring after getting knocked out. And instead of getting the pin, he stuck his middle fingers up at Evil. Then he stuck his middle fingers up at Dick Togo. The fact that that was the highlight. Oh no, actually. Uemura and his hair was the highlight. That was great. Yeah, I think Sanada's probably happy that this match has finished. He doesn't have to think about it. And I think a lot of fans will probably just want to scrap that out. Evil is hopefully out of the title picture for the God at least 3 years, please. Sanada has cemented his road to Wrestle Kingdom. And then at the end, Naito came out and obviously was like, yeah, we're challenging, blah, blah, blah. So that was the show. A lot happened. And you know what? Aside from the main event, it was a phenomenal card. There was some really good storylines going forward. It's going to be interesting because Super Junior Tag League is coming up soon. So that is something to look forward to. That is my review. I'm sorry that it's not on the day of the show like normal. That's one of the downsides of having the show on a weekday while I'm working. But yeah, hopefully you have either enjoyed it and agree with me, or you want to go and watch it, because it was actually generally a very good match. But if you did watch it, why don't you chat to me, even if you didn't? Let me know your thoughts. So the best parts, the worst parts. What do you think of the storylines going forward? Because we've got Super Junior Tag League coming up and then World Tag League. Obviously all on the road to Wrestle Kingdom. So let me know in the comments. You can let me know on social media at wrestling_chat. So that is, I always say Twitter, but it's actually X now. Follow me there because I update. And obviously, I did mention I'm going to Royal Quest this weekend. So there will be vlogs, reviews and things straight from the venue. So make sure to follow there for everything. And always, as always, hit the like button, click share, and why not hit subscribe? Like I said, Royal Quest coming up, Super Junior Tag League, World Tag League, and then Wrestle Kingdom. So this channel is going to be packed. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you soon. Bye!